Welcome to the Shootin The Que podcast presented by Heath Riles Barbecue with tips, tricks, and an inside look at some of the top pitmasters in the game. Now here's your host, Heath Riles.
Welcome back to another episode of Shootin The Que. Today, I'm joined with my lovely wife, Candace. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Just dragging into the office this morning.
Well, it's raining and getting cold, and I don't like the fact that it takes forever to get daylight either.
You've got
My
that
body
right.
is not adjusted to that change.
I know. I got to the office way before daylight this morning. I think I was here at 20 after 6 this morning. We're only a few weeks out from Thanksgiving. Not long at all. Not even quite a few weeks, actually, but it's all about the turkey right now. I don't want to say I'm about turkeyed out, but I'm getting close already.
I mean, I like turkey, but I feel like I'm more of a ham person than a turkey person. I know that's probably against the rules for most people on Thanksgiving, but we always have both. So,
I mean, we do. We're the traditional. We're going to have a turkey at Thanksgiving and usually a turkey at Christmas too. We cook one, or turkey breast anyway.
Yeah,
not a full on turkey, and we always do a ham too at both of them. I mean, kind of real traditional for me and you both. But there's so many different ways to cook turkeys. I mean, for sure. And I'm always finding a new technique, it seems like, for turkey myself.
So I know you've done deep fried turkey, you've stuffed turkey, spatchcock, turkey breast, all of that. I think you've only done one deep fried turkey though, right? Because I remember the backlash from it.
Yeah.
You were so unsafe in your
everybody's
process.
like, you should kill the fire. And I'm like, well, if you lower it in slow enough, you shouldn't kill the fire. And your oil was right and it was measured right before. And I think that's just a lot of people that are not from the South and not used to doing things like we do it.
Not used to just
I'm trying to
being
teach you a
unsafe
safe
and
way.
we just do it and hope it turns out okay down here.
Yeah, I mean, we winging it down here. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm not cooking it in the kitchen. You know what I mean? I don't have the propane burner in the kitchen.
Not yet.
And not yet. Well, it really is unsafe, right? You should cut the burner off. But if you've measured it correctly, you have nothing to fear. And I think
make sure the bird's not frozen too.
And make sure the bird's not frozen. I mean, no icicles on the inside of it. Because it will pop around, and then you'll accidentally drop the bird and the grease will splash out. And I can see very easily where people make those common mistakes. I really, really do. I can see that. And it's very unfortunate because probably every Thanksgiving somebody either A, catches a turkey fryer on fire or either smokes up their oven in the house. And I'm going to say the third thing is just completely just kill a turkey, murder it with dry breast.
Yeah. What was that one movie where they cut and it just like
Christmas Vacation?
Yeah, Christmas Vacation. It took me a second. For some reason, I was thinking it was a Christmas Story, but it was not. Well, he was eating the turkey in A Christmas Story.
I've got to say this before we move on. We met somebody not long ago that said she ruined a full-on meal because she did not know how to cook.
True.
Invited family over, and I don't want to call the young lady's name.
Yeah.
But she said when everybody sat down to eat, they started eating at once and everybody looked around. And she said she knew the fear. And she just automatically said, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's get up and go somewhere. And everybody didn't say anything and put all their plates in the garbage. And they all went. Where'd they go to eat?
I feel like it was like McDonald's or something.
Yeah, they all went somewhere else to eat, like fast food. It was McDonald's, what she said.
Because it was on a holiday.
Because she ruined Thanksgiving. She tried to cook it all by herself, and she was new to this, and apparently everything was bad. And I've got to feel bad for her. I do. But that was a few years back. I think she's a little bit better now. I don't know. Maybe she just goes to Thanksgiving.
I mean, I'll be honest. I've never cooked a turkey. I mean, I could follow a recipe, I'm sure, but I would still, I'm very weird about meat and temperatures and is it done? And I mean, I feel better now that I'm comfortable with a Thermopan, but I don't like being the one responsible for cooking chicken, especially.
Why?
I don't know, because I don't want it to be so done that it's dry, but I don't want it to be underdone because I don't want to get sick. So I'm sure, turkey is similar. It's poultry, so
Same thing.
I don't know. I wouldn't like that either. I'm fine with the dressing and the sides and all that kind of stuff, but when it comes to the meat, I can cook ribs, but I'm not good at poultry, I guess.
No, well, you've never cooked really anything poultry-wise except for like boneless chicken breast and boneless
in the crock pot
thighs
and in the oven.
I mean, yeah, you've cooked on a pellet grill a couple times.
I have.
Chicken.
I have. But I still don't like it. I still am like, is this done? Is it too done?
I don't know. That don't bother me. I can touch it and know if it's done.
Well, I haven't done. I mean, I could. That's like how you talk about you can touch it. You can learn the feel of a rib to see if it's done, and I have that in my mind, and I have that down still, but I'm not there with poultry.
Well, it can be deceiving without a thermopin and how far you poke through it,
Yeah.
depending on how thick it is. And reading on the bottom side, if you poke all the way through and getting a great temp versus the chicken temp, you can very easily make somebody sick. Totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess I grew up, my grandparents always did the holiday meals, when I was a kid. My grandmother on both sides, we would go to both families, and I guess that's just something I never learned from. And it's not their fault. I was so young then, I wasn't thinking about trying to learn that,
Well, and I'm in the same boat. I don't want to sit here and act like I was in the kitchen with my grandmother and mother and aunt and all of them cooking, because I wasn't. I was in the kitchen at other times cooking with my grandmother and other meals, but during the holidays I wasn't. That was just something. I was always hunting. I come in and they told me when to be there to eat, and I made sure I was there at that time or about an hour before to eat. But other than that, all the men was pretty much gone hunting in my family. Everybody got up that morning.
It was that way on my mom's side of the family. Like that's my mom's side of the family were the hunters, but my dad's family, they were not ever hunters. So yeah, I know what you mean when it comes to that. On my mom's side, we dealt with that, but not on my dad's side.
I know.
So, but yeah, I did learn the dressing from my grandmother, as we all know, because we've talked about that, but that was once I got older, and she got older, and it became, it's a task to do it. So
it is making 8 skillets of cornbread the way we do it.
Well, that's the way she knows how to do it, or knew how to do it, and the way she passed it on to me. So, I guess I could.
Well, we've ramped that recipe up. She was only cooking 4 skillets, I believe.
I believe it's 4 large skillets and 2 small skillets is what my note says that I took when I was with her. She had it down very specific.
Well, we've got it in measurements now. You're good.
Yeah. Well,
I've developed most of it into measurements for you.
I still go by what I wrote down.
And you still make me taste it, and I'm the one still adding stuff nonstop.
Because there's not an actual recipe still. That's the point. There's not an actual how much of the chicken broth you add in and how much of the celery salt. Like, there is no exact amount.
No.
So don't say that you have it down, because you don't when it comes to that. Because we're still just constantly like, is that good enough?
You usually don't like a lot of celery salt.
I don't mind the celery salt. It's the sage that my family does not care for.
Sage, and you don't use poultry seasoning. My grandmother always used poultry seasoning also in dressing.
But your grandmother actually put poultry in the dressing.
She did.
Mine did not,
she was always boil a chicken and debone it and use the chicken stock off of the chicken and use the chicken to put in the dressing. That was my grandmother's thing. That's what she always done. It was one of those things. She always made her dressing up the day before, usually. I don't ever remember her making it 2 days prior. But she had stuff made up, dishes washed, where really she could slap it in the oven. The ham went in the oven. The turkey went in the oven. The dressing, ham, and turkey all went in the oven, basically together like that. And she done cooked her pies the day before, and they were all chilled and usually sitting on the wash machine in the laundry room.
Yeah.
And I see Beck, our editor, shaking her head. I don't know what it is, and your grandmother always had stuff in the laundry room too. She had a fridge in her laundry room too, but it was always stuff like sitting on the washing machine and dried in the holidays.
Fridge.
Yeah. I wonder why it was like that.
It was every drink you could ever imagine that you Well, non-alcoholic drinks. Well, now my grandfather, when he was alive, which you never got to meet him, but when he was alive, he did have his little section that had his beer in it. But
that's something that we hadn't talked about. Your granddad did have that, and I didn't meet him.
he liked craft beers, so y'all would have had a lot in common anyways. But yeah, I remember like Sam Adams, like Oktoberfest and all the different varieties. Like he liked all that kind of beer.
See, my family didn't drink the holidays. No wine, no nothing like that.
No, he would drink wine.
My dad was a cop, and he was the coroner for 17 years.
I know lots of cops that drink.
Yeah,
What's your point?
They was usually on duty a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so
Of course they don't drink on duty.
We didn't drink. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were out doing stuff, or either he was hunting, and so we just never drank at a setting like that. The only thing we drank was gallons of tea at my grandmother's house. That was the thing.
Yeah, we always had tea. And I don't, my grandfather would open some wine, or he liked stuff in his coffee, different, never know what it might have been, but because when he passed away, we found all kinds of, he had like I guess you call it a wet bar that was built in at my grandmother's house. So he had like his own bar area, and my grandmother didn't drink. So it was just him, and he didn't drink a lot, but he had his own
Only
variety.
a nip every now and then.
Yeah, he had his own variety of.
Well, he liked
whatever.
Baileys and things like that.
Yes.
I remember when the bar got cleaned
Yes.
out. Peppermint schnapps.
Yeah, I was like I said, it was in the coffee.
Yeah, he was always doing
putting it
something
in
in
his
coffee. Is
coffee.
what it looked like, for sure.
But anyways, we're getting off topic of the turkeys. Sorry.
I know. Well, it got me thinking about all the holiday different type things and different traditions that different families do. And I wonder what the percentage is that families that do kind of celebrate with wine or cocktails at the holidays versus the percentage that don't.
I mean, I feel like we don't really. I mean, I might drink wine, but nobody else really.
You do. I might have a drink, but my mom don't drink, and which we have a kind of close knit, just your parents and my mom and maybe my niece and nephew, but and my son. But there's not much of many of us eating a big holiday meal, not like what it used to be for families where it was so many people coming over. Families is getting smaller for a reason. We're all getting older, right?
Well, and it's just like I was talking to somebody the other day. It's not so much that the family has gotten smaller. It's that when certain matriarchs or patriarchs pass away, the families kind of divide into their own instead of getting together as a huge group.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, because like I don't remember who I was talking to, but like my mom's grandmother, which was my great grandmother and great grandfather, when they were both still alive, they hosted Thanksgiving and Christmas, and everybody that you've met on my mom's side, like not just her immediate family, but her cousins and aunts and uncles, and everybody would go to their house. And then it was kind of like once they passed away, that changed. And so each family, I mean, we're all still family, but they kind of just do their own thing now.
I'm in the same way with my grandmother, and when and her sister and brothers and them passed away, all that kind of faded out.
Yeah.
There was not, I mean, even the family reunions, there's not been a family reunion in years.
We never really did what we called a family reunion. We just knew we were going to see Easter. We did Easter too, was a big one that we would go to my great grandparents. They hosted a big Easter thing.
Well, the key thing about it, and I tell this to a lot of people, you don't have to be, blood related to call somebody family. And having a group of people over for a big meal and combining, families to do that and take the stress off of you, that's more what the holidays is about, I think, in my opinion, and being thankful for what you got. But I don't know, it's a lot different than what it used to be, just like you said, times have dramatically changed.
Yep.
But talking about turkeys, the deep fried turkey thing, yeah, I do probably need to fry another turkey on camera, but I'm still not going to kill the fire when I put it in. And we even boudin stuffed a turkey last year, which I thought was really good. But, this year, I don't think it's released yet. It's about to release. I done a butter-injected turkey. I'm thinking people are going to be going to like that. I actually took ghee, which is clarified butter, a lot easier to inject. And I don't know, really unique, savory taste to it, really good. And, of course, doing an oven-roasted turkey. You know, even though we cook on the pit all the time, a lot of people don't have grills. So cooking a turkey in the oven for people to show them that technique, I think, you know, everybody's going to like that.
When you do fry a turkey, you need to do the bacon up method that we talked about.
Yes, with all the bacon up.
Yep. Anyways,
For
just
sure.
an idea. But you're going to have lots of Thanksgiving recipes coming out all this month in November, so people can check that out. But what about, I feel like we get a lot of questions. So you use your chicken injection and brine for turkeys, and I guess some people don't put the two together because it's labeled chicken. So
Well, it's poultry. And,
Yeah.
you know, what a lot of people don't understand, too, the other companies out there like us, all they did was buy another bag with the word turkey on it, and it's the same product in that bag. It did not change. And we just have not took on and absorbed those costs yet. I'm sure next year we will, but I am working on a totally different brine. I've got it ready to go, but I'm not trying to rush it this year. We will have a Cajun Creole butter injection brine coming out next year. It's one of those coming out on camera this year, but I'm not releasing it right now. I'm not trying to rush it. It's too soon, and we'll get it out. I worked on it. We've just been entirely too busy to get it done this summer.
Well, you have lots of videos on how to use the chicken injection and brine for turkeys and
That's
stuff
right.
out there, so people can watch that. So that brings up a question. If you had to pick 3 top products of yours to use for the holidays, what would they be? I'll say yours. I guess it could be anybody's, yours and somebody else's, I guess, if you want
So just for turkeys?
it. Just for the holidays, if you want to do it for turkeys, or if you just want to say,
I'm gonna say just for turkeys right now, and I'll explain why. Either my chicken rub, one of the honey rubs, the everyday rub. It depends on what you want to do. The garlic jalapeno. There's an array of
Yes,
products
more
there.
than
So
3.
I know. So one of the barbecue products. I mean, the injection and brine. I would have to choose that just to ensure that I have a moisture. A good moisture level in the turkey, and it's juicy all the way throughout. One of my rubs, you know, and probably one of my glazes. If I, you know,
So you choose one rub, a brine, and a glaze, because I mean, you just went all over the place
That's
there.
it.
I'm not sure what your answer
one rub,
was.
one glaze, and the brine.
Gotcha.
That's what I would do for sure. But if I had to just narrow it down to 3 products for the holidays, I think that I would have to probably pick the beef rub for sure, because I'm probably going to do some type of beef before it's over, if you're including Christmas in the holiday period there. So I would have to have a beef rub in there, and if I had to use the beef rub on a turkey, I would be fine with that. It's just a little more pepper forward, no sugar whatsoever. So it just depends. Just depends.
What is one underrated product that you think people might overlook but takes Thanksgiving up a notch? I know what my answer would be to that.
Simple citrus rub. What would you say?
I think the pecan rub. I've always been a big fan of the pecan rub,
Pecan is good.
and I feel like a lot of people may not have ever
Sweet
tried it.
potatoes.
Yes, that's where I'm going with that. You
Turkey.
can use it for you can use it for the ham, you can use it for turkey, you can use it for sweet potatoes. I mean, you can even use it, I know.
I guess you got a point. I didn't think about that all the way through.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean,
You know, I'd
what
have
all
to-
could you use the citrus on besides meat?
Well, I would say meat. I would
I mean,
have to say
some vegetables, more like green vegetables, though. I wouldn't go putting it in the sweet potatoes, personally.
You're right on that. I probably would pick that too, the pecan rub as an all
as an underrated.
Yeah, as an underrated.
I mean, I've always
the
been a
citrus
big
is not
fan.
as versatile as the pecan would be in that instance because of ham and things like that. I didn't think about that. You're right.
I've always liked the pecan rub on ham, turkey, and we do it on sweet potato, even on a regular
do.
basis sometimes. And it's
And
which
you love
we
it on
don't.
salmon.
I do, but another one that it's good on, but we don't make this dish specifically for the holidays. But butternut squash, I know we've used it before on that, and it's good. But we haven't done that in quite a while,
I
honestly.
know. I need to.
You always liked butternut squash.
I know.
All that. No, we haven't done anything with any of that lately. But
Oh.
I think I've been cooking more dinner than you have.
Yeah, lately you have. You cooked 2 days in a row.
Several
3.
weeks in a row, actually.
Now, weeks is 7 days. You picked out a day or so in that week.
I've picked out like 3 days every week and cooked, but that's because that's the only days you're home and then you go to the farm. So I'm not going to cook a full dinner for myself.
That's right.
But if you're not appreciating it, I can stop.
I do
no problem
appreciate it
with me.
100%. It was great last night what you made. It was great. I'm going to eat it for leftovers tonight because I don't want to cook. It was really good. What kind of casseroles that you made last night?
It's called Chicken Spectacular.
Yeah. Water chestnuts, green beans in it, the rotisserie chicken. I thought it was really good. Onion. It was a really good dish.
Pimentos, wild rice.
It was really good. I mean, for a simple
Had it
casserole.
before.
Oh, I know, but it was really good last night. Seasoned up with some garlic butter. I think I put a little beef rub in it.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem when I'm trying to make stuff. You're just standing over me doing all kinds of seasoning in it.
I like to taste it. You know it.
Well, back to the chicken injection and brining a turkey. What would be your go-to ratio or mix if you're there? I guess it would depend on how big the turkey is, right?
Depends on how big and what you're doing. For me, I always revert back to if I'm going to brine it, I would save at least one measurement, which would be about a third of a cup or half a cup of chicken injection and mix up with some chicken broth to inject in that turkey.
I was specifically asking about brine.
Yeah, well, the rest of it is where I'm going. The rest of it I would take and mix into a brine with at least a gallon, maybe a gallon and a half of water, and that's what I would brine my turkey in. But when the turkey come out, I would still shoot the breast up with the remainder is where I was going with that. So I would use the whole bag on like a 16 to 20 pound bird. That would be me. I'd use the whole bag.
So your preferred liquid to brine would just be water with that mixture?
Yes,
Because I know a lot of
be.
people make their own brine and they use, I've seen recipes for apple cider vinegar, apple juice, orange
fresh
juice.
herbs, cutting oranges and lemons. And
there's nothing wrong with that
all
either.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. And I really need to do a fruit stuffed turkey and all that, maybe a citrus brine. That would be really, really good.
Yeah. So what would be the minimum and the maximum time that you would brine a turkey? Again, that's going to depend on size, isn't it?
It's going to depend on size, but I would say a minimum if you're doing a 16 to 18 pound turkey or 12 to 16 pound, anywhere from 4 hours at a minimum, all the way up to 24 to, I wouldn't even be scared to go 36 hours at all. Or maybe even 48 if you needed to. That's not going to hurt it either. But if you really do have time, I feel like brining it 12 to 24 hours, pulling it out, patting it dry, and putting it on a cooling rack and putting it in the fridge to dry the skin out.
Yeah.
I feel like that is the best technique by far, but a lot of people don't have that kind of time.
So if you are going to inject it after that, would you say that you inject it right before cooking, or would you go ahead and inject it when you take it out and dry it off and then let the injection sit in it?
I'd probably inject it right before it went on. That's just me. I've done it both ways. But trying to dry that skin out, I would probably just go ahead and shoot it up after.
So what would be a common mistake that you feel like people make when they're brining or injecting their turkey for the first time? Maybe not brining it long enough?
Not brining it long enough, maybe not pulling the giblets and neck and stuff out of it, or either letting it thaw out all the way.
Yeah,
the key thing to a
process.
turkey is letting it slow thaw in the fridge for several days. And there's a ton of people that have charts out there. I believe we have one that hadn't got posted yet. But, it might take 7-8 days for that turkey to thaw out, right? We know we had turkeys in the fridge how long? 6, 7, 8, 9 days, something like that, to ensure that they were thawed out all the way and there was no ice crystals in them and nothing like that. Ensuring that they're thawed out all the way is the key to cooking that turkey. But bringing that up, I do want to test the technique of cooking a bird from raw. Or not raw, frozen. Cutting it out of the pack, frozen, and putting it on the pit and letting it go from frozen. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were talking about that technique.
It? You don't?
Yeah, you can actually just take and
feel like the
spray a little
seasoning
bit of water.
wouldn't
You spray a little bit of water or oil on
Oh.
it with it frozen, and put seasoning on it, and as it thaws out, that it sticks to it.
Do you cook it like really, really slow?
Yep, just let it cook slow.
It seems
Apparently,
like
that's a big thing on old hickory pits and things like that. They're cooking them from frozen. But it would be a unique. It would have to contain a lot of moisture. Cooking it slow, I would not want to cook it hot and fast.
When you say slow, like how slow would it be? Because I
250, 220, 250 would probably be a good
and about how
average
many?
temp.
Well, I know it's going to depend, but what would be an average amount of hours it would end up taking?
I don't know.
It's going to
That's
depend
what-
on the size of the turkey.
I
know,
would
but
kind of like to find that out. I would kind of like to maybe do that experiment next year. I'm not going to fool with it this year of doing one frozen and doing one fully thawed side by side and seeing how much longer the frozen one actually took on the smoker.
yeah,
That'd be interesting. And to not brine it and let it go from frozen and then have one brined and see the moisture difference in the two. Because the ice crystals has formed in that turkey, right? And that's just my opinion when it's frozen. So as it thaws out, that moisture should still be in there. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how that turned out side by side comparison.
So, since you have cooked all the different kinds of turkeys, deep fried, spatchcock, classic, smoked turkey, how would you rank those three in order? Like, which one would come out on top between those three?
I'd probably have to go with stuffed turkey last.
I didn't say stuffed, but okay.
Well, you said how would I rank deep fried, spatchcock?
Or just a smoked turkey, but I
Or just
guess
a
you're
smoked
considering that one
Oh.
as stuffed
I'll just go straight smoked turkey
as number one.
as number one.
I like a good deep fried turkey if it's done right. It just
I like
depends.
a deep fried turkey too, but just thinking about from the health benefit side, grease versus smoked.
Yeah.
And
Well, they
what-
say smoking meat causes cancer, so if you really want to get deep dived into that, well, you could get into that, but I don't think you want to.
You know, at the end of the day, you know me. I'm just here for a blaze of glory.
Well, I'm just saying you're talking about health wise. I mean, yeah, the oil that you cook the fried in, but then there's also the debate of smoking meat and it causing cancer. So
Well, I'm also
can't
feeding
really base
in-
it off of that.
I'm factoring in all the mess from the grease you got to clean up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all that too. And you've spent so much extra money on the oil to fry that turkey
True.
versus just throwing it on your pit you already own.
True.
I mean, there's a lot to go into that instead of just ranking them. Because for me, I'd much rather just throw that turkey on and chill and have a cocktail, and watch the ball game on. And deep frying turkey, you kind of got to babysit it a little bit more.
But it's over a lot quicker, right?
I ain't trying to finish quick.
Well,
I like
mean,
the long game.
isn't frying a turkey fairly quick process though?
What is 3 minutes per pound?
I don't know.
So it
I've
depends
never
on
done
what
it.
kind of pound, what kind of pound is it, 3 or 4 minutes a pound, whatever it is. So if you're running a, 15-pound turkey, I mean, yeah, it just depends. Yeah, it's going to, a lot longer to smoke it. Yes.
Yeah. So, are you a fan of white meat or dark meat?
The white meat.
I agree. I don't.
I'm
particularly
more,
care for
and
the
that's
dark.
why I feel like we cook more of the huge turkey breast from Kevin Green
Yeah.
instead of smoking just a large turkey anymore. There's nothing wrong with that.
It goes to waste
And,
for us.
And my grandmother and them had got to where they would cook 2 turkey breasts. They would not even a bone-in turkey breast. They would not get a full turkey because nobody really ate the dark meat, and usually what was left of that, my grandmother always made like turkey salad, like tuna salad. She would always do that after every holiday to kind of use it up. That was kind of her thing. Seemed like she always done that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like too. I know we've talked about this kind of stuff, not about this specific topic, but turkey breast is a thing now. But I feel like when I was a kid, that wasn't a thing. It was you got a whole turkey, and that's what the option was.
That
So
was
that's what people cooked because that was all there was to get.
Well-
and then the turkey breast came along after the fact because more people
Agreed.
were interested in that.
Agreed. That, and I think they started growing these much larger birds
Oh yeah.
because there's no way.
Let's not even go
regular
into
turkey,
that. I can
yeah.
tell you some documentaries to go watch, and then you might stop eating meat for a year like I did. So,
Yeah, everybody ain't that foolish.
oh, it's awful. Nursing school will educate you on things you didn't ever want to be educated on.
Look at you now in a food business.
I know. Well, I'm trying to educate you on smoking meats causing cancer.
Well, at the end of the day, if you really think I'm worried about if smoking causes cancer, you don't know me as well as you think you do.
Back to turkeys. What's the biggest mistake that you think people at home make when they're cooking turkeys?
Waiting on that little timer to pop out of that breast to say it's done. Because that timer is probably going to go 185 degrees, and that turkey's going to be overshot by then, and it's over. That little.
So what would you say
thermometer.
that the ideal internal temp for a turkey is?
160 in the breasts. And pull it and let it rest. It's going to keep cooking and the residual heat off of it.
So what would be the ideal rest time for a turkey?
At a minimum, at least an hour to me, 45 minutes to an hour. Cover it up on the counter and just let it chill.
Is that for a whole bird as well as a breast? Or are they
I like
different?
a breast to rest at least 30 to 40 minutes, yeah. A whole turkey, it depends on the size of it, how long I'm going to let it rest. And the dark meat needs to be about 165 or better, 170, somewhere up in there. Yeah. But as long as you get that white meat, those breasts, depending on which way you're facing the fire with it, it's all technique when it comes to turkey and what cooker you're cooking on.
So we get a lot of questions about turkey skin and how it turns out rubbery. So do you have any tips of telling people how to get the skin crispy instead of that rubbery skin?
Once you brine it, take it out and put it in the fridge a day.
Dry it off
24 hours and let that skin dry out. If you're not doing that, you're just shooting yourself in the foot if you want to eat that skin. But for me, like a turkey breast, when we do the turkey breast, we take the skin off and go straight rub on the meat and cut, and it turns out great. The key to that is once the rub adheres to that breast, wrapping it up, and don't just keep cooking it. Wrap it up with a little bit of butter, maybe a little chicken broth in foil, and let it finish out and let it rest. And you need to let that turkey breast rest just like you do a steak, and let the juices kind of reabsorb back into it to ensure that you have that. And that's where that 30 to 40 minute rest time comes from.
Who was I talking to? I had a conversation with someone like just yesterday or the day before. I don't think it was you. I'm trying to remember. Somebody was telling me that they watched a video on social media about someone cooking a turkey using champagne.
No, I've not heard that.
Who was that? I don't remember. It just now came to me that I was having that. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Something about don't use an expensive bottle of champagne, but use a
Something
decent.
Elizabeth done?
No. I haven't talked to Elizabeth lately besides text messages, but somebody was telling me they watched a video online and that it intrigued them, and they were telling me about it, and it sounded really good about basically how it does kind of take me to Elizabeth, how she talked about that pillowcase turkey, which I haven't researched to look up the specifics of that recipe, but I know she talked about it a little bit. But I guess the person was telling me for this recipe, you kind of get your big pan and pour the champagne all over the bird and in the pan, and then you wrap it up really good. So that way when you're cooking it in the oven, it basically just steams in that champagne, and you can put your herbs and fruit or whatever you choose on the bird as well. But it does seem like that would be a very interesting taste. I'd like to try it. Depending on the champagne, like I'm not saying you should use expensive champagne, but I wouldn't use
no Don.
I mean, I guess you could if you really wanted, but I know some champagnes can be sweet is where I'm going with that. And I would not pick I would do more of like what do they call it? Like a brute or whatever if I was going to try it, but it seems like it would be good.
Interesting.
I'll have to remember who I had that conversation with, but do you remember a time when a Thanksgiving turkey didn't go according to plan for you or your family?
No.
I don't have a time either that I don't really remember anything like that.
My family didn't screw up much food. I mean, I'm not saying that in a sense like that everything was always perfect.
Yeah.
Because it was not. But my grandmother and aunt and mom and them, when I grew up, they were always selling cakes and pies. We had a cafe at one time for the holidays. There were people. My grandmother finally just got tired of doing it. She'd sell 100 cakes and do all that plus our stuff, and she just finally like, I'm done. So when she had that kind of practice, and just
Yeah.
like she had a working restaurant, there was not much to mess up. You've seen her recipe books and things like that, and she cooked on a whim just like your grandma. I mean, it's just the way the older generation cooked, and that's what's great. I think a lot of people now have to find a recipe. And for me, you see me in the kitchen, I may glance at a recipe once. If it's baking, you need to follow it. But if it's cooking, season with your heart. I mean, how you want to taste it and how you want your friends to taste it. And you have to understand salts and peppers and cooking and all that kind of stuff to kind of make it come out right. And there's things you can do to adjust that too if you understand it. But that's why I like cooking so much, just winging it. It's because you always come out with something really unique or discover something a little bit different by changing up the technique instead of just sticking 100% to that technique.
Yeah. So this kind of takes me back to what I was just talking about, I guess. What's the wildest turkey recipe that you've ever heard of? And we were talking about the pillowcase turkey that Elizabeth mentioned, and I was talking about the champagne turkey, which I have never had. But
I'd say those are probably the two wildest I've heard of, because turkey's always been pretty traditional to me, either stuff with fruit.
have you heard of a pickle brine turkey?
I
know people brine chicken in pickles.
can't say that
pickle
I have
juice.
heard of a pickle brine turkey, but I could see it, so I'm
Yeah.
not shocked by it.
Mayo roasted,
Oh, I've used mayo on turkeys myself several times.
bacon wrapped. I feel like that's
That's
somewhat
old.
normal.
That's 1982
Well,
or 89. Excuse
so
me.
no other wild.
I don't.
I mean, I don't know of any besides.
You know, I
what we
did
already
hear
discussed.
somebody injecting turkeys with red wine one time, and I can't
think-
see that.
I think I remember I told the story one time of my grandfather injecting like grape juice or wine in something. I don't remember if it was turkey or pork though, because it made the meat turn purple. I can't remember. I'd have to ask my dad which one it was, but he was always trying random stuff. So there's no. It was probably wine.
Yeah, I don't really
Not
know
grape
of any
juice.
other. I think a champagne turkey would probably be the most probably crazy wild idea, but I don't see where it would be that
I think it
crazy
would be
wild.
good. Like
Yeah, it
if
would
you
be
put the
fine.
right herbs and stuff with it, it would be almost like a
Just
probably
braised.
similar to like a white wine type
Yeah.
dish.
That's right.
Which, you know, when you go to restaurants, you see different types of chicken cooked in wine sauces and stuff
Wine
like
and
that.
butter and all that. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
wouldn't be much to it.
So how are you going to plan, or I can't talk. How are you cooking our turkey for our Thanksgiving this year? You probably don't even know that yet.
Yes, I
You'll
do.
decide the day of.
I already tell you now, I'm using Simple Citrus and Cajun Creole. Those are my two favorite rubs on a turkey by far. I mean, that's just me, and I'm going to use probably a stick of butter to wrap that turkey in, and a splash of chicken broth. That big
What are you
turkey
going to cook it
breast.
on? Don't know that yet. do you?
Probably pellet grill. Probably a pellet grill, just because there's going to be so much going on. Because, you know, I get up that morning and I usually do the turkey breast right then and there, and the ham. I have it all ready to go and slide it on. I like having it fresh coming off the grill and slice it and do. And the dressing's already made up. We slide it in the oven. You know, you've usually already made some pies by then, and I'm usually making the sweet potatoes the morning of. And I love roasting my sweet potatoes. For me, I like now cooking them on the grill. I'll throw them on the grill, cut them in half, and scoop them out, mash them up, start adding stuff to them, and make my kind of souffle.
Not a souffle, is it?
Just a really creamy sweet potato casserole.
Looking back, how do you think that things have changed from the Thanksgivings you grew up with? I feel like we've already kind of talked about that.
Oh, it's
just how
changed dramatically. It's
Yeah.
changed dramatically. I mean, I miss the bigger Thanksgiving, to be
Yeah.
truthful with you. I don't know. That's the time of year that it's usually after the fact that I hear of someone, of one of my friends, not going somewhere for Thanksgiving or at home by themselves or something like that. And so this year, I'm just going to make it a point to ask beforehand if anybody needs to come eat, because we have so much food from a handful of our friends. We both had friends that didn't eat Thanksgiving because, you know what I mean, they just didn't have somewhere to go, or family not here and things like that. And I just want to make sure that those friends make sure that they eat a good meal Thanksgiving, because we always have enough food.
We do.
I think we cook enough for 25 to 30 people, and it's about, 8 of us that eat. 8, 9, something like that.
If even that, honestly.
That's kids and all.
Yeah, and our kid might take a bite of something and then run off. So,
well, I mean, she's 3. She's gonna get a bite or two or something, and she's got to worry about cartoons and what else. She's gonna snack around all day,
doing her gymnastics, flips.
That's all she's worried about.
What's the most memorable Thanksgiving moment that you have? Do you have one?
Oh wow, memorable Thanksgiving moment.
I don't think I have one. I feel like my more memorable moments all coincide with Christmas.
Yeah, a lot of mine coincide with Christmas, but Thanksgiving, I guess it's usually gathering in the living room after lunch, all the guys, and swapping stories and talking and chit-chatting and watching sports like it used to be.
Yeah, I guess mine would just be, I mean, it is memorable just actually being at my grandmother's house in her dining room at that table that we all sat at as a family. She only brought out the china twice a year, Thanksgiving and Christmas. We ate on that china. That was the only time ever. But just being in her dining room at that table with those dishes, her having cooked the meal, I guess that would be. You don't realize it then, but once they're all gone, you do.
100%, you don't. So. And we all now, I mean, I'm using these half pans that's throwaway and everything else.
Stuff. Yep.
And I'm sure your grandmother's house was just like mine. There was never a disposable pan on the table, not even for the turkey. I mean, I don't think my grandmother and them, they had a roaster pan. So there was not even really a disposable pan.
There was like a certain dish that she made the main dressing in, and I mean for my grandmother and everything. Now,
same way with mine.
I don't have that, but
she had an oval, those cheaper roaster pans. I remember those blue ones. You know, my grandmother always made the dressing in that, always, because it had that big lid on it, right?
My grandma had a big. I think it was actually a Corningware dish, but it was like a big deep one, and it was white and had that blue design that the old
Corningware, that's what they always done, the peas and mashed potatoes and all that mess in. They had different sizes of them.
And then my grandmother always made, I make it for you now, the 5-cup salad is what it's called.
Ambrosia.
Like she had a specific crystal bowl that went in every year.
Well, and we still use some of her crystal. No, that was my grandmother's crystal.
I have a lot of my grandmother's too.
Yeah,
I have both.
Didn't my grandmother give us a crystal like cranberry sauce thing and all that? I don't know, those little memories like that. What are you guys some of the favorite memories that you have of your family? Tell us in the comments below, because those are things that, I don't know, really makes you smile about the holidays and really look forward to the holidays. And for me now, as I get older, it's creating the memories with my internal family now that I had back then with my, generational family, and there were my grandmother and in the kitchen. It's just a lot different now. And me doing a lot of the cooking and it's just a lot different now that we're responsible for it instead of just showing up to eat, right? Those duties have kind of changed roles and all that as people have passed on. And it's really unique to see how things change over the course of years. Some good, some not so good. Some wish you could stay the same, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it myself.
What about Thanksgiving dessert? Anything that sticks
Thanksgiving
out?
dessert. Really the big thing that I'm going to say that I miss that my grandmother done would either be a fresh coconut cake, because you sometimes make her coconut pies.
I don't even like coconut, but yeah.
I know, I do. And
everybody else in the family likes coconut. Except
she had a chocolate delight is what she called it. And it was like a layered dessert and had pudding.
But didn't she have a coconut one too?
She had a coconut delight, and I liked the coconut delight better. It almost had like a coconut pudding in it and a pecan sandy crust and real whipped cream. and it was all layered up, in like a punch bowl, clear punch bowl thing. But that was my favorite thing that she made, and my grandmother made a ton of desserts. But that Coconut Delight for the holidays is one of my most requested dessert that she made.
Yeah.
She always made caramel cakes and coconut cakes, and coconut cakes with no frosting under them, just the coconut and the juice. She had so many different ways of doing that. But you loved her caramel cakes because she always.
That's something I've never made, but I do remember her making them.
I remember her unwrapping all the little square caramel candies, because you could not buy them not wrapped. And she would do that, and she had this one pot, and she would get it on the stove with her candy thermometer, and she would just whip that stuff till it turned into pure caramel and get it to a certain degree and temp, adding her butter to it. And then she would have to get a certain temp, and I don't remember all that.
Yeah.
And then she would sit down at the table. She'd have her 3 round things of cake baked, and she made her triple layered cake always.
Yeah, I remember.
Had it done up.
I think that was the first time that I maybe ever had caramel cake was when I started dating you and went to your grandmother's, because my family never had caramel cake like that.
It's not as rich as what you would think.
Now, some are. I've had some other places now since I've tried it, and I know that I like it, but there are some out there that are, but your grandmother's was not, no.
Well, it's just like my grandmother's chocolate pie that everybody liked. Hers was a milk chocolate pie, not a dark chocolate pie like we see the majority of chocolate pies now.
Yeah.
Or a fudge chocolate, right? She would do a fudge pie, but that was different. A milk chocolate pie. Everybody wanted her chocolate pie.
Yeah.
Milk chocolate pie.
And I've made it a couple times, but.
And she definitely, that and pecan pie. She made a stew out of pecan pies.
I make pecan pie too, but I don't even like pecan pie either. I make all these desserts for y'all that I don't even like. Coconut, pecan, all these things.
Well, that's the point of the holidays, ain't it?
I guess. Maybe one day I'll make myself a dessert I like.
So I'm expecting to see that Coconut Delight this year.
I've never made that.
I got the recipe for it, don't worry. I'm lucky enough that we have my grandmother's full recipe book, and I've had the ladies here at the office type it out and put it all in Excel for me. So it's really great. All my grandmother's recipes are now in Excel, just like all of our recipes are. So it makes it easy.
At least your grandmother had written recipes.
Oh, we could figure your grandmother's the rest of them out. We could get
the rest of them. I barely know any of them, but
that's the thing about it. A lot of our older generation kept everything in their head. They done it off a whim. And that my grandmother's cornbread recipe, I had it, and that's kind of a sore subject with me. Cornbread's cornbread. You remember we lost that recipe? I had it on the fridge, and we got
at our
flooring.
old house.
It was our old house. This was 15 years ago. But we had to move the fridge for something, and you took everything off the fridge. We were getting new flooring.
I didn't throw it away.
You didn't, but it got lost in the mix, and nobody remembers that cornbread recipe. No one. My mother, no one. It was not in her book, nowhere.
I mean, cornbread's cornbread.
Now it's just not the same. Cornbread's not the same. It's not the same. You know it like I know it. It's not the same. I don't know. And I really didn't have her biscuit recipe either because that was all in her head.
I don't know how to make biscuits.
She used to make homemade biscuits every day. She get up 5 o'clock in the morning and make biscuits 4:30. I mean, roll out 8 or 10 biscuits.
I like homemade biscuits.
And then she got to where when she got older, she would make up enough and she would freeze them. You know what I mean? In sandwich Ziploc bags. We used to do get a Ziploc bag out and put them in the oven. But at one time, she was probably making 80 biscuits a morning.
That's crazy.
Selling them before she went to work. She would send a beer flat or 2 beer flats with my dad. My dad run the co-op, the service station at the co-op. And she would send all those biscuits. She would fry sausage, bacon, ham, what else? Sausage, bacon, ham.
What else
and
is there?
And it was something else.
Bologna?
Maybe tenderloin biscuits. May have been bologna biscuits too. It was 4 or 5 different types of biscuits. Some had egg and cheese, some didn't. But it was about 80 to 100 biscuits a day. And she always sold every one of them. My dad would bring her the money every day. And back then, she was getting $3 a biscuit, $2 a biscuit for plain, $3 with egg and cheese on it. I mean, and that was, everybody wanted those biscuits. The service station looked like a cafe every morning. And she would wrap every one of them up individually. My grandmother was a hustler, and you wonder where I got it from. I mean, she was not scared to do anything like that to make money. And that's why I always respected my grandmother, didn't matter what it was. 110%. And damn, she could cook. Well, I'm going to leave that on a high note. Just sitting around and talking about family and Thanksgiving and the holiday traditions, it brings up so many memories in my mind. I could sit here and just go on for days about it, truthfully. And I know you could too. It's one of the things where I think we both wish we had our grandmothers back here for another Thanksgiving for sure. No. So remember, if your grandmother's still around, give her a big hug and a kiss from me this Thanksgiving. We'll see y'all next week on another episode of Shootin The Que.
If you have any comments or suggestions for future episodes, please feel free to reach out to us on our social media channels. Leave us a review if you've enjoyed the show. And until next time, keep shooting the Que.